Hi guys, I'm live. Nothing heavy here. Just wanted to talk a little bit. Um, yeah, I'm just happy, doing good. I just want to talk about some light stuff. Um, let me see what I was gonna say. Um, I want to say that um, all my life I uh, I just had faith that the universe was a just universe. And Einstein posed that question, I think. He said, the important question everybody has to ask themselves is, do we live in a family universe? And I always just assumed that we did. I just did what I thought was right as far as study. I went to college, and that didn't work out, so I doubled down in music and just kept studying and practicing. And I made a little kind of mental breakthrough when I thought about my musicianship today. I realized that I finally think, I mean, what a person thinks is important for sure to say that. In the movie Wall Street with Billy Sheen, I met Charlie Sheen. His dad, Martin Sheen, stars in the movie too. And in the movie, Charlie says to his dad, "I'm going to make you proud of me someday, Dad." And the dad says back to Charlie, "It's yourself you got to be proud of, Huckleberry." Sometimes it's what we think matters too. And I finally reached a point today in my thought where I think that I'm can call myself musically educated, um, on the level of how I did at Harvey Mudd. Um, I know I was engineering and math and scientifically educated, but I didn't want that to define me at the end of my days. So after I quit Harvey Mudd, I really studied music hard, and I finally think I actually am musically educated. Um, I don't say that lightly because I never went to music college. But I consider myself musically educated and somewhat trained technically, not classically trained. I don't have the picking and fingering and know the Bach pieces and know how to read music really good. But I have some skills and I'm musically educated in my view. So I think that's a cool landmark for me today. Um, and then as far as the universe being just, I want to tell you guys something. It's important to me. Your reaction to me and acceptance of my channel and my music and my look as I go around town, um, kind of affirms that we live in a just universe. And I really appreciate you guys doing that for me, um, because and it's not about, it's not about all about me, my numbers on my YouTube channel or anything. It's a lot of it is just that you guys accept me and love me and give me good energy. Who cares what the exact YouTube stats are, how many followers or subscribers or views I have, but it's just the energy you guys give me and how you guys accept me makes me think that maybe we do live in a just universe because I didn't always have the easiest life. I got my dad beat the crap out of me, as probably you guys know. So I kind of leaned into that. I actually would make him mad. I actually said a lot of times I just brought it on myself. If he was going to hit me anyway, I might as well just lean into it and make him even madder. But when I wasn't doing that, I was practicing guitar, and I just thought someday it's going to work out for me, Jim, to myself, and it's starting to. And I would appreciate you guys for affirming or reaffirming my belief in a just universe because, um, I did study and practice guitar and music a lot of my life when other kids were just hanging out or going to concerts or getting high. And I missed all that. I relate to um, uh, Bill Stranix in as the villain, Tommy Lee Jones in Under Siege #1. He says, "I miss the '60s, Tom, and I think if I'd have been there, everything would have worked out okay. I went to war college and talked about missing the '60s. And when I saw that movie, I thought, first of all, I'm not unlike Bill Stranix. He was the villain, LOL, and Tommy Lee Jones is so cool. But and of course Steven Seagal's in that movie, one of my favorite actors. That's a great movie, Under Siege. The first one. The second one's good too, but the first one's better. I miss the '80s, but you guys are helping me make up for it. I didn't get to go to all the concerts, like I've talked about. Live Aid, not Live Aid, but the US Festival was right in my hometown, and I didn't even go. And I heard music. I heard Quiet Riot and Ozzy and Van Halen at times, and I did. I don't really remember if I knew exactly at any given time who was playing by just hearing it, but I could hear the concert going on from our house, and even if I walked around town, and I wasn't even at the show, you know. So I talk about missed history. I'll never see Eddie and David Lee Roth in their heyday again because I missed it. But then again, I practice guitar and I studied music, and I get a consolation prize of getting to be Shirtless Guy. You know, some of that I would probably trade to go back and see Van Halen and all the great bands in the '80s that I just kind of took for granted because I thought the '80s was going to stay. I didn't realize it was going to fade and music was going to go downhill with grunge and then worse with rap and whatever else happened. I'm trying to bring a lot of that back though, and I do like rap, and grunge isn't bad. It's just not good. LOL. But I'm trying to help bring music back myself, and you know. So anyway, I love you guys, and even my haters like Biz made a comment to me today that I actually liked and responded to. He said, "Jimmy, how many of your lovers actually give you money?" And I said, "Fair point, Biz. You haters are the ones that give me money when I get money from anybody." And I said, "Fair point. Thank you." I call them like I see them. I don't call them like I wish they were. This is right. A lot of the haters have been funding me at times, and I appreciate that. I call it like I see it. That's one thing I learned from having a 6'3" Navy dude beating me up growing up. A lot. He kicked a lot. He kicked a lot of the figurative shit out of me. He really did. You couldn't be a smart ass around him. You couldn't think you were the guy that runs the show, and you couldn't have an attitude, or he'd just slap it out of you. You know. So I learned a lot from him, and yeah, and I wear his Navy tags. They're not on me right this second, but I wear his tags when I walk around almost every day. I mean, I walk around practically every day, but I wear the tags almost every day. And his Illuminati ring, it's gold. Um, that's not meant to be a fist. It's just that's the ring. I wear it on my pinky, usually the left pinky, sometimes the right pinky. Um, anyway, anyway, I hope this video has been like lighthearted. I don't always want to be doom and gloom and talk about heavy things. I just sometimes want to celebrate and be happy and light up, as Styx said. Light up, everybody. Join us in the celebration. And also, on my I'm actually enjoying on my channel learning new things like singing. I mean, I have yet to outperform my take of Golden Years by David Bowie in the last few weeks. And that doesn't even that song doesn't even have a guitar solo. It's just funky rhythm guitar and singing, and it did better than anything else I've done in the last 3 weeks. And I honor that by putting what succeeds more on the front of my channel. Right now, that David Bowie Golden Years is for the people that haven't subscribed, and the people that have, it's the first take of Crossroads Duel, or maybe it's vice versa. One of them is the head of when people haven't subscribed, and one is when they have. And I think I'm learning to have rhythm in my voice. I think that's important, and it's fun. It's fun. I mean, that song Golden Years isn't easy, you know. Um, don't let me hear you say life's taking you nowhere. There's a lot of rhythm nuances in that. That aren't just one, two, straight. You have to phrase it, sing faster at sometimes, and then hold back at other times. And that's one reason I like rap because it's so rhythmic in nature. My voice um, technique, and words that I write are starting to become more and more of a rap thing. I just add guitar to it. There's nothing wrong with adding guitar to a rap vocal. Why not? But rap has the rhythm of the voice that I like, and I do like rap. I don't like I don't like sometimes how it's used for attitude with people that want to sound like they're badasses or want to fight. But that's not the music's fault. That's not the fault of the music. I could play rock and roll and do the same thing. It's not, but that wouldn't be the fault of rock and roll. It'd be my fault. Rap is cool, but just don't use it. Hopefully, people don't use it for violence and intimidation. It doesn't work on me anyway. I just go, well, that's stupid. But I like your music, you know. So anyway, anything else? Thanks for being patient with me doing Crossroads Duel. That thing was a bear all my life. I mean, all my life. It didn't come out till '85, and I was born before that. But I finally got my head around it. Fingers can do it, but I noticed that the first take is getting the most views. So maybe I won't do that many more takes of it. And after a while, you guys are gonna be like, "Oh my God, does it do anything else?" But those licks are important to me. Steve was great. I mean, he still is, but he was like, um, and speaking and funny, the three other guitarists that have birthdays similar to me, Randy Rhoads, Steve Vai, and Paul Gilbert, and me all have birthdays with 666 or 10 years apart or both. Well, not both, because Randy and I are 10 years apart, and Steve and Paul and I all have 666. Um, I'm getting my head around those guys. I think somehow there's a reason we're connected with the birthdays. Randy's a lot to get my head around, and I think I have. Steve's a lot to get my head around, and I think I have. And Paul's a lot to get my head around, and I think I have. I mean, there's this great guitarist that I'm honored to have any kind of numerological connection to through birthday. 'Cause, that's important, and I'm honored to be connected to them with numbers and numerology and birthdays. Um, Randy was great. Steve is great. Paul's great. Um, Actually, I went to a Steve Vai concert, so technically secondhand. I mean, to that extent, I've met Steve Vai only by going to a concert. But he didn't like me, I don't think, because I was really close to the front, and he deliberately went around and shook hands with everybody around me and didn't shake hands with me. It was at Fourth Meeting in 2003 in the Real Illusions Reflections tour, and that's the only time I was in the presence of Steve, and it was he shook hands with everybody around me, but deliberately didn't shake hands with me. And it was and then Randy I never met because he died before I even started playing guitar, or at least the same year as I started playing guitar. And Paul I met at a clinic, um, at Alpha Music, where I took lessons as a kid, and Paul was signing his autograph on his picture, and Pete the owner, not the manager George, but Pete the owner points to Paul and says, "Paul, this kid's gonna catch you someday." And he looked at me, and I'm standing there in front of a 22-year-old Paul Gilbert, and I was the same age as mine. He's a month older than me, and I felt like, well, are you sure, Pete? You sure you know what you're talking about there? But Paul just gave me this look like, huh, is that right, kid? So I met Paul at signing in a clinic. Um, don't Please don't think that because I didn't go to concerts and do drugs, I've had my brush-ins with famous people in the music and things. Ray Manzarek of the Doors walked right by me, 3 feet away, at 13th Promenade in Santa Monica in 1997 or 1998. Didn't even take note of me, and there I am, 20. I'm like 30 years old, decked out in weird clothes and beads and long hair, and he didn't even give me a second look. And I might even be Jim Morrison's son, his bandmate. Obviously, that was lost on him, but I did meet Ray Manzarek walked right by me, and now he died, and I just, I'm trying, I I really mourn for the loss of these great rockers. I don't triumph in my thinking, oh, I'm trying to beat them or anything like that. I honor them, and I respect them and I love them, and it hurts that some of them are gone, and all that. So it's not like I'm just, I'm not heartless in that way. When I said in loving memory of David Bowie, and or in his loving memory for Golden Years, I mean that. It's like that's partly why I sing. That's partly why I sing those songs with feeling, is because I feel the artist's spirit and vibe, and I'm trying to do them justice, not just you know look how good I did. So anyway, I'm glad you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys enjoyed this live. It's after 9. Just so you guys know, from 9 o'clock at night to 9 in the morning, my wife lets me do music. But from 9 in the morning to 9 at night, the daytime, she has the house. So if it's 9 at night to 9, if it's dark, then it's my turn to do music. If it's light, it's her turn to have the house. So um, my when it's 9 at night until 9 in the morning is my music time, and that's my 12 hours I can do music. Um, so it's after 9, so I can do things. And it's good for me to have structure. Who wants to be able to have to record and play all day every day? It does it after a while. It's like it's either boring or puts pressure on you to be recording all the time. But if you have half the day, well, that's a limitation is actually good. Sometimes it makes you wait until the time you're supposed to create, rather than just I have to create all the time, or I can do it any time. So why bother? It gives me the structure actually helps in many ways. So it's good to have. I like the structure. So I love you guys. Peace, rock, and have a good rest of your night.